And I know you probably gave like a base, basically a good catalog of what up and coming artists need to do, as well as veteran artists need to do, as far as relevancy. Now, as far as creativity goes, now that Kanye took over the chart, as far as creativity goes, what do that tells up and coming artists, but artists like myself and even artists above my level? What is that message from the industry is telling the artists, from your perspective?
My perspective, that tells me first you need to step your game up. You know what I'm saying? Secondly, that tells me that you need to stop worrying about what people think. You know what I'm saying? If Kanye wants to wear a silk mask in the Mercedes Dome and perform piano, set himself on fire, be on stage with Marilyn Manson and Chris Brown, you know what I'm saying? What does that tell you? That he's not afraid to be himself. You know what I'm saying? Like I think Lil Baby wore a diaper on stage one time.
Whoa, time out. We're not gonna let that pass by. You said Lil Baby.
Lil Baby or the Baby, one of those two.
The Baby. Okay, so we'll say the Baby because I know he's on that project. You're saying the Baby was wearing diapers?
A diaper. He did that one time.
Okay, I'm just want to make sure because Kanye. I would, if that was the case on Kanye's whole thing, it would be like, really, Kanye?
Nah.
But then again, it's like Kanye. You would expect him to do stuff like that. But continue.
Yeah, but because creativity is basically about trying to get people's attention. Like him ascending to the stage to the ceiling, like pretending to be heaven. That caught my attention. My question to the artist: what are you doing that's so elaborate that's holding people's attention? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying you don't have to get like a big budget or anything like that, but I give you a good example of this indie artist I recently did a review on. Her name is Risa Sheck. The way she did something so simple on her Twitter. She said, and I knew she was dropping music early on, so I probably don't want to call it. But she simply just said, "Hey, what's up, y'all?" and pretend to drop something, right? And she said, "Oh, I dropped something." I see that. Oh, let me continue, and then cut the video off.
Ooh.
And then, what people didn't know that Friday at midnight she was dropping 2 singles. See, that's what I'm talking about. That caught people's attention. It caught people off guard. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we could do stuff like that, I think the industry as a whole would become better. Like, you know how it was in the 90s, man. Like, everybody, literally every artist was different. Like, I didn't necessarily, was a fan of every artist, but I listened to every artist.
Right.
I listened to Wu-Tang. That was my favorite group.
Yes.
But I listened to it because they was different than Biggie.
Yes.
Biggie was different than Tupac. Biggie was different than Do or Die. Do or Die was different than Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, Bone Thugs and Harmony got Do or Die for Jock and they style.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to get back to that. We need to go back to a time where that's not allowed. You can't be taking my style. You gotta come with your own style. You know what I'm saying? So,
and you don't know what the crazy part is, that time you had your varieties. Now you had your variety of skills. You had your variety of talents. You had your variety of originality. Now you only have varieties of gimmicks. You know what I'm saying? It not only and I wish it only stayed on the secular side, but it spewed over into the Christian side, because you have artists that looks like an Uzi Vert, like a Lil Yachty, like a Gucci Man, like a Drake, like a Kanye. the list goes on. We're gonna mess around. We're gonna have a Christian version of Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Lizzo. Mark my word. We're going to have a Christian WAP.
Probably so. Because, and you know why? Because Kanye set that standard.
Ooh.
Hey, let me say this before you continue.
Go ahead.
Notice, like, I know you didn't listen to the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let me ask you this first. How far, like, what track number did you get to? Do you remember?
I won't even say it was I can't even say it was a particular track number. But I will say, after Jail,
Part 2 of 1.
see, I don't even. That's what messed me up about this project. It's that it got so many songs in that mug. I really couldn't even catch up to the Part 1 or Part 2 per se, because the way Kanye sets this thing up, it's like after the first song hit, after the first note of the first song hit, because this happened to me every time I heard College Dropout, Late Registration, and even Graduation. With Kanye's music, it's like once you hear his music, you're not even concerned about what's the next song gonna be. You wondering how this journey is gonna lead me to a particular destination. And once I get to this destination, what is the destination? You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not gonna lie though. Once I even if it was like the first 5-6 songs, and that's me being honest. After the first 5-6 songs, I was practically like, what just happened? So
right, that's how I feel.
Yeah. So now I probably need, after this, I probably need to listen to the song, listen to the project more, and probably do a better review. Because comparing Donda to Jesus is King, and I've heard Jesus is King practically from top to bottom. There was so much uniqueness, and to hear Kanye being the Christian within the level that he was in. So it wasn't like he was coming off all super duper lyrical, spiritual, lyrical theology, all that stuff. He was just basically like, look, this is where I'm at right now as a Christian. This is where, musically, where I'm at as a Christian. Now, Donda probably be more, because Donda will probably be more of I Need It. Like my song, I Need It. It's basically like, if you heard all the verses, you will probably, I will say, you'll probably understand why Donda was Donda. Because Donda sounded more like, and that's just me listening to the first 5 songs. Now, when I get to the rest, then it'll probably be a different story. But Donda sounds more like, okay, I'm still a Christian. However, I'm still going through lots of this. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a Job experience for Kanye West. That would be the better way to say that.
That's a good description of that.
Yeah, so. But here's something from a Christian perspective now. Because we got all the artists' perspective. We can probably do a catalog and volumes of an encyclopedia version from an artist's perspective, what this project has done on the gospel chart. Now, from a Christian's perspective, whether it's religious or spiritual, it seems like this project has now drawn a line between those who want gospel music to be super duper traditional and those who want gospel music to be more revolutionary. Now, from a Christian's perspective, do any of these songs within this project speaks on Christian anything? Absolutely not. However, I do want to continue to say that this brother needs to grow. He needs to continue to grow, because he may have secular artists on well-known secular artists, whether it's from Chris Brown, the Baby, Jay-Z, Jay Electronica, all that stuff. But he still has some time. He still needs to grow. Do we as Christians need to do a better job of judging this dude, this particular level of Christianity that Kanye West is? Do we need to do a better job, and not just of condemning, but more of critiquing and be like, I may not agree with this, but I understand where he's going. Do we as Christians need to do a better job of judging as far as critiquing?
Yeah, because like I said, the Bible, 1 Corinthians chapter 9, where Paul's talking about me, people where they at. Because to the, what he say, like, to the Greek that became Greek.
Yeah, to the Jews I became Jews. To Greek I became Greek.
Yeah, so I think with those features, because notice he bleeped those words out. So I'm saying, like, which lets me know that, like I said earlier, that he's taking it a little bit more seriously. Because if he's going to go this Christian route, which I'm pretty sure he's going to go with his next album, he know for a fact that people aren't going to like those cuss words and profanity. So, let me say this. Artists on there, I noticed where they was talking about Jesus a little bit in their rhymes. They was trying about how they trying to give them like a little story about how somewhat Jesus were entered into their lives, or how they try to be maybe somewhat Christ-like, but they don't know what direction they want to go. Like, I think two verses on the album really stuck out to me for two secular artists. Fabian Foreign and a guy named, I think, Electric or something like that.
Yeah, Jay
Electronica. Those two, Fabian Foreign, like, his really stuck out to me because with him having like, you know, background in being a gangster or anything like that, his verse came out very positive to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wrote it to all his fans for looking out for him, how he met a girl in church, how to not let people take advantage of you, which works perfectly in the song called Off the Grid. Because you don't want to be in the same position that you were before. Because he was in jail. That's the first thing he said indirectly. He was in jail. And now he's living a better lifestyle, even though it came off as very what's the looking for, braggadocious. Yeah. It came off like I'm better than you, but if you read between the lines, like I said, this is why storytelling and rap is so important. You gotta listen from the first bar to the end. He starts off in jail, then he quote unquote bragging about what he used to be and what he is now. Now he has money in his pocket. He met a girl in church. He has a brand new house away from the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not trying to go back to jail or hang out with the same old people. You know what I'm saying? That's what stick out to me. Now the other guy,
Jay Electronica.
What stood out to me about his verse, that how he was very lyrical. Like that one verse, he said, his rugged cross and thorns squeeze out Christ tears. I never heard a Christian artist say something that deep. I had to get that from a secular artist. And that's
I'm
the
sorry,
problem.
Ooh.
And then the last part where he said that really caught my attention. He said, "There's a war outside. There's a war outside. Look through your blinds that look like Saddam and Gomorrah outside." I never heard. Think about it again, folks. I had to get that from a secular artist. No Christian artist have ever went that deep, except for maybe Gabrielle Parker, or who else is like a real deep Christian gospel artist?
Jim Stones. He's lyrical.
Tonic, or even Ambassador.
Ooh.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
that bar is on that level. You know
I'm
what I'm saying?
sorry, but as much as I love the Ambassador, I practically got all his stuff except for the first one. Please forgive me. But that bar right there alone.
Which one?
That last one that you mentioned. That
Saddam and Gomorrah.
No, the one we said Christ.
Rugged cross.
The rugged cross. Yeah.
And pointed thorn screenshot of Christ to you.
I wouldn't even expect that from the Ambassador. As dope as he is, I would not expect that from him. But, man.